All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:32. It is Thursday, August 29th. The world is still spinning, right? Markets are open. Nvidia is behind us. And take a look at the disclosure. All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Hopefully, everyone's feeling good. It's a new day. It is Thursday. Wow. Just like that, the summer is almost over. Hopefully, everyone had a good time, made some money, and have their marbles a little bit, because sometimes it's pretty easy to lose your marbles in this tape. From the July swoon to where everyone was begging for a point rate cut on August 5th, to all of a sudden, a week or two later, market was back at highs as if not just powering through levels. And yesterday, when everyone went to bed, it looked like the spies were going to start a retracement below 555. Nvidia was trading near the measured move or the priced in move of the options. Then you walk in today, it's like, spies are up $1. Europe indices are almost at all-time highs. I think the DAX is back in all-time high. The Nikkei is right there, and it's just another day in the life. Did you overtrade? Did you do too much? Did you get overhedged? Like, all I know is I've spoken to 3 or 4 different type of market participants out there, and everyone's a little frustrated the way things have been playing out. So if you're a little frustrated, it's okay. If you're killing it, congratulations. I don't know what you're doing a little bit different. You probably, there's some good things to do also. But anyway, you take a look right at this chart of the spies, and here it is. Here's that V bottom, right? V bottom that went through every single moving average, really never even paused, and now we're going sideways, right? Yeah, 563, 563.91. Yesterday we tagged this 555, and it looked as if we were going to see 551 or maybe even 548, and then all of a sudden now the spies are up $1 at 559, smack in the middle of the range, and there you have it. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world before we get going. What up, Sully? Good morning. What up, Mobile Trader? What up, Skunky Ape? What up, Bescott William Myers? We got Bobby 4.0. Blair, how's it going, my man? We got Ali. We got Ben Berger. What's up, Jamie? So basically, I'm not talking to myself. This is this is what I look at when I'm doing the 6:30 club. I got all these people coming in, usually a lot, and we share ideas. And we try and get the morning cooking. Okay, so at this point we're still in the range. If you are frustrated with this range, okay, just that's it. Let it go. Let it go. If you're frustrated that, you sold your longs too early in this first part of the V, let it go. If you shorted this end of it thinking we were going to get stopped out here, or it would stop there and come in before going, get over it. Okay. It's Labor Day weekend coming up. Reconvene your thinking. September is going to be busy. You got a lot of economic numbers coming out. You have the fourth quarter, and let's just go take a few steps away from the recent action, because the recent action has been a little tougher, and I'll say it. The Qs right here have not been great. The Qs made a lower high. You now have 467.89 to trade against. This held this gap. So we'll see if this can go sideways, and then at some point take out this 477. So, we'll see. We'll see. Right now Apple's up. A bunch of things are up. I will say the XBI, which is, another sector that's different than the Qs and the semis, to me looked and still looks good. It's just taking its time. Here's the XBI. Here's 99. Hopefully it holds that little spot. If not, you have 95, right? So, you have a lot of mixed action. I think the problem is that where, sometimes, things just look like they're going to do something and then they just don't. There are a bunch of stocks that looked like they were ready to break out. You can get some traction, and they just fell really fast. Some guys like Red Dog, did you see what Lilly did? I'm like, what did Lilly do? Like Lilly, it's been a great, awesome stock this entire year. We've had it as power plays a few times. You could do it a bunch of different ways. Got above 825. That was on post earnings. You could have bought there as a swing trade. That's that peg play. But if you tried buying it for a breakout first above 966, It went to 972 and failed. Then 2 days ago, went to 972.48. This is 972. It went 10 cents below the prior high and then had to pull into the 8 day. So if you're a momentum player, a lot of people in my community are momentum players. They play more than just momentum, but they like breakouts. They like traction. So they're long versus spot, then they're adding through, and then it doesn't work. If you added a bad price, you could lose money. And right now, you could have ruined some things right here with Lilly. Same thing happened the other day with Meta. It was 2 weeks ago. Okay, you look at Meta's chart, right? Meta's chart's right here. Awesome chart still. Nice sideways, big horizontal channel. As soon as August 5th happened, right around here, I'm like, guys, this is gonna be the first name to make a new all-time high. What did it do? It went above 540, went to 544, and then literally pulled in $25 or so. So if you had options, you lost money. If you didn't get out of the way on this little failure, you had to suck wind and go underwater. And that's the kind of trading that's been happening here. It's a little harder. So now what? So Nvidia, okay, Nvidia. Yesterday, I'm like, guys, the option dealers are going to win. Everyone that bought calls or call spreads or puts or lotto puts or put spreads, chances are the option dealers are going to make all the money, and everyone who bought options because they wanted to have their defined risk is going to lose. Last night, people were like, no, the puts are going to win. Everyone's, counting their money. You ever hear that Kenny Rogers song? You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. Maybe I'll play it. Bottom line is, Nvidia is done. Thank goodness, because now I could just trade. It's only down 4 points. But last night, if you really wanted to take risk on, we were talking about how 114, 116 was the $12 priced in move that the dealers wanted to protect. So if you bought it last night, you made money. But if you said, hey, I'm going to put on a call spread, I have a call spread on of a 130, 140, costs $3. It's not a big deal. Hopefully I'll make more money in the stock today now that the earnings are out of the way. But, this was that 114-ish area. So anyway, at this point, it's going to be pretty noisy. The one thing I will say, it wasn't like we were trading at 140 or above 136 an all-time high. So although the rate of growth slowed a little bit, it still was a very, very strong report. They make a lot of money. It's very liquid. Demand is there. So just a matter of how long is it going to need to stay in this range and go sideways now. So at least we know what, this is 122. It's here at some point. If the market wants to get better, it'll take out this 130, and that is where it's got to get above and stay above, and then it turns into a different trade. But, again, it's just different. It's, not doing a whole hell of a lot, which the market's not doing anyway. What's up, Allison? What's up, KP? Anyway, so Nvidia, see, the market is putting, I don't think Nvidia is going to be, like I said this last night, it's not going to be as much of like a key where everyone's in, what's Nvidia doing? It's the key to the day. It's the key to the week. No, I remember when Tesla was like that. You guys remember like 2-3 years ago, Tesla was the best stock, making higher highs. You heard about it on TV every second. And then it turned into something that can give you cash flow and opportunities, but it needed time. So I have a feeling, this Nvidia is going to need, some time. Anyway, what do I say that with Tesla? Because if you remember, Tesla just, if you go back, let's just go to the weekly chart for a second. When Tesla was absolutely fantastic, that was here. Look at this. Remember this run? This was like the best. It was momentum. It was fast. It was furious. And, actually, if you take a look here now, it's after this peak, right now it's been doing a whole lot of nothing. It's just not the same leader that it was. There was, you got to move here. Remember this tight little spot here, but again, it's stuck in the middle. It's not even at 299. It's not down here. So, it's not the key to the market. Elon's doing whatever he's doing with X, and he's doing whatever he's doing politically. But bottom line is different. This was really when it changed this last time. Remember, that summer right here made that lower high, and then you had lower high, lower high, lower high, and now it's just smack in the middle. So if you look at Nvidia, I'm not saying Nvidia is going to do it. You go to the weekly chart, it's had this tremendous move, which has been awesome. Nvidia's made us all a lot of money. But Nvidia was actually 540 to start the year if you do a pre-split, and now it's trading around 1200 still. It went to 1400. So actually, let's take a look at this way. This was another breakout. And now It'll be interesting to see what happens here. This is like your high area. So look how elevated this thing is right now. So let's see, does it need some time to stay in here? Maybe, and then go sideways and then do it, or does it want to retrace? This was that weekly turn right there. So does it go sideways in here looking like this and then have another breakout? It could happen too. Just a question of how much it's going to digest. Yes, there are other things out there besides Nvidia. Guys in after hours were playing CRM, had a great report. CRM, look at this chart too. I was drawing these lines yesterday for everybody. It got above this, and what a move. If you took options in CRM, you made a lot of money. And obviously, yeah. Sometimes you have to go away where the noise is or the crowded. Like Nvidia was crowded, and CRM was like, no one really is talking about CRM. So it was a good setup where it was tight and it went. And right now it's at 273. So it's right into this gap fill is what? This is 277. So, I would say this would be a spot for it to pause, but nice setup if you took it. CRM was a nice setup. Some people took, what's it called? The AFRM. If you remember UPST, right? Similar. You had this pro earnings gap that people are still long against as it had a big move. It's still on its way towards 49-ish. So if you said, hey, you know what? UPST is pretty good. Why not go with AFRM? AFRM, look at this downtrend. Okay, AFRM's been out of play. AFRM's been crap. AFRM, blah, blah, blah. PS, it had a nice setup. So if you said, hey, Nvidia might be a little crowded, let me go with something that would make sense considering how good UPST was. AFRM is up 7, and you killed it, 38-ish. So this is what? This is 39-ish. So it's going right into this little spot for now. So for today, you could use your pro earnings gap. So if you didn't take it, you let it open, it puts a low in, and then you buy versus that low, and then you could have done everyone's like, oh, I missed UPST, I missed it. I'm like, how much did you miss? You have a gap here you could trade against, and it went as high as 42. So you above the 8-day. So for AFRM, you do the same thing. Listen, if it gaps up and closes on the lows today, it's a different look. But if it gaps up and you want to play versus that, chances are, it could give you a post earnings setup. So if you didn't play it for earnings, you look for a post earnings setup, and that's a way to play a swing trade. So anyway, so it's Roblox. I haven't looked at that stock in a long time. Yeah, look at that. That's actually looking pretty good. Above the 8-day. Yeah, that I haven't traded this, and I'm not going to start trading it now, but this is better. It went through a big consolidation phase. I remember playing it back here. So looks pretty good. Not so bad, not so bad. Nvidia, again, everyone's so over focused. Sometimes when, it's like the 20 times an hour rule, right? When CNBC talks about something for 20 times in an hour, chances are it's crowded and something's going to change. When they're talking about the 10-year 20 times an hour, usually it's at a peak or at a bottom. When they're talking about, remember when they were talking about SMCI, when it was at 1100 and everyone's getting a clock cleaned short squeeze? Well, look at SMCI. Holy cow. This is why you have to have a process. This is why you have to have a plan, because if you don't, you could wind up blowing up. Remember this tight setup earlier in the week that everyone got stopped out of 595? Hurt a little bit. You lost $10. A lot better at 595 than down to 400. Actually, guys made really good money on either on Inner Circle and in the Alpha team because you had time to short it. Meaning it was at a 505 when that news came out at 935. And now what? I would just avoid it. There are some names that are really, really, really hard, and some names, that are just sloppy as hell. And this one, although it's crazy off the highs, it's just there's gonna be class action suits. There's gonna be so much things that that I mean coming out that could tag you. But anyway, here's 395. It's at 428. If you had to look at it, fine to go red to green. I'm not gonna play it. What I did, someone's like, well, what happens if because of Hindenburg that they just want to take more time to make sure they could, make the results are perfect and audited and this and that. I'm like, well, just go out, 6 weeks and buy lotto calls and don't trade it. Go out and buy $550 calls and waste $9. And if all of a sudden everyone's wrong and there's no fugazi business, you'll make some money. But other than that, I would get away from it. What's it called? The Apple. Yes, I talked about Apple on Fox Business the other day. How it could be a key name, and it looks like one of the few names that could go and make a new all-time high. Also, yesterday they had to make it seem though as an actor, I got out of my Apple yesterday. That's like the frustrating thing. It's just freaking frustrating. Apple's been doing great. I also made good money on August 5th. I bought Apple in the hole, stayed with it, got away from it into this move. I thought maybe it would be over right here where resistance was, so I missed this end of it. So I started buying a little bit in here. And then yesterday I was like, you know what? Feels like tech's rolling over. Feels like the spies are going to retest some lower areas. Nvidia's coming up. I'm not going to be actively long Apple. As an investor, you could be in it, but actively, I was like, eh. And PS, look at Apple now. Apple is up 264, back at 229. And now I have to figure out, what does Red Dog want to do here? Am I going to pay up, 260, or I'm just going to, not engage it? That's kind of how this market's been. It's making you feel a little bit bad about a position if you're too active with it. Anyway, James has asked me, am I going to stay away from CRWD? What did that do overnight? Let's see, CRWD. It's down 6. This one also, because of the outage and this and that. What's this low here? This low is 260.75. I just think it's going to be, it's like a battleground, like Boeing. Boeing's a battleground. As a trader, do you want to be in the battlegrounds when it looks good and then all of a sudden the battle changes, or do you want to be in something that makes a little bit more sense and can get you? So this is what this low here is, 260. Where's crowd right now? It's right around there. So what I would do, I'm not in crowd. I didn't take any options. If it's a great company, they had some problems. Some of their clients pushed out some of their their business. But so the way I play this, because it's down 6. So CRWD, this is the playbook. It's down 6. It's remember when it was supposed to break out up here? That's again what's been going on with this market. It looked like it was ready to break out at 394, and then that happened. That's crazy stuff. But anyway, so what I would do is let CRWD put a low in. Just say it puts a low in at 256 and then goes back to 257.5, and now it's 940. Market comes in a little bit. It doesn't make a new low. You could buy versus that morning low. That's your stop, and all of a sudden, if CRWD goes from down 5 to almost green, you're catching yourself a nice trade. But if all of a sudden it goes to 256, comes up to 257.5, the market rallies and it doesn't do anything, and then the market kind of pulls in a little bit and breaks that 15-minute low, you get out. There are people that blew up their entire summer in this PDD. You know why? Because they thought this 109, 110 was going to hold. They bought it and they just kept buying it. This is a Chinese ADR. What the hell are you ruining your entire summer playing a Chinese ADR? But they didn't use points of reference. They went and they tried to catch a falling knife. And so, I like it here. They were buying, some guys, on Twitter were buying it pre-market around 122. I'm like, you might as well wait for it to open, put a low in, buy versus that low. It breaks that low, you get out, you lose a little bit of money. It's a paper cut, but you're not playing the cost average game and losing more than your limit, and your boss is tapping you on the shoulder. I'm coming up to you to tap you on the shoulder and say, you're out of here. Because that's what happened to a bunch of people that said, hey, I'm just buying this dip. But anyway, with that said, just there are rules. There are rules that keep you in this business for 27 years or plus. I think that's how long I've been doing it. It's 1997. Gold. That's another frustrating thing. My friends that are so into gold, looked like it was going to break out 2 days ago. And then yesterday you came in, it looked like it was a trap, and now it's right back to where it was. Like, look at gold. All in all, in the chart is still fine. Looks great. Actively, it took out that, this, where was it? 222. That's got a lot of active traders back in, not just asset allocator buyers. And then looked like it was ready to break out here. So if you added to it yesterday, it kind of hurt. And then PS, it wound up holding the 8-day, still on this trend. And now the GLD is up $1.45 right back. Hey, that's what trading is. So if you have too much, so I guess the moral of the story is you really have to know how many shares you could own, the prices that make sense. If you add to it because it's moving and you're wrong, it ruins your average cost, and then it might ruin the psychology of the trade. And these are all things that we all deal with as traders. There are a lot of people on TV will act as if they're in every single trade that works. They're making gazillions and they don't even put a trade on. It's very easy to talk. It's very easy to say, projections like analysts or this and that. Like, we're traders here. We come up with plans and we then have to figure out how to work the plan, right? Plan you work you plan. And then try and mentally stay with that based on, some of the type of trading in the market. And there are times when the market's really easy, where it's a great sequence and you're in a rhythm with the tape and you're making really good money. That was me a lot of this summer, even into the August 5th low and then after. And then there are times when this week I probably should have been, out in Montauk instead of, involved this week, because this week I wound up losing some money. And like even this IBIT, like did it really have to come all the way back down to here? So anyway, and I was pretty. I thought I was pretty responsible. I got long here, added. I didn't get out. Added, sold some. Bought some back, and then it had to go all the way down to there. Anyway, that's what trading is. I'm not here to complain. They say don't complain. Make changes. So if that's you, don't complain, because if you complain, there's nobody listening. I'm sitting here in the Shorters office all by myself, complaining to all of you. But I just want to let you know you're not alone. If you're a little off sides, or flat-footed, or you did a few things where you're like, wow, the market really got me there, it happens. But then there's a lot of times when you're in there, you're moving, you're grooving, the rhythm's intact, and you're trimming and trailing, and you're using your tier system, and you find a great sequence with an awesome stock that's acting special, where dips are buyable. You could add on a breakout, you could sell some strength, you could buy it back, and it makes higher highs and higher lows. And that's going to happen a lot. Most traders, to be honest, I've been doing this 27 years. You make your money like 3 times a year. There are 3 areas, or 3, 2 to 4 week time periods where you have to really, get in there, put your money to work, make your trades, and make big money. And then the other 9 months, it's choppy. You make a little, you lose a little, and you stay sane. So figure out what you need to do to stay sane. It's the day before Labor Day weekend. Make sure you blow off some steam, and we'll see what today brings. Overall, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that the SPYs last night were trading at 554 below this range. It's not anymore. SPYs right now are doing what? They're up at 559, right smack in the middle of the range, and it's continuing. So in your head, if you had puts or this or that, and you're like, we're going to see 548, we're going to see 545. It's not where we are right now. So, the market is where it is, and you have to approach it, in a way that's responsible. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Peace. And I'll see you guys a little bit later.